Hi peeps, I want to talk to you today about practicing really quiet on a practice pad. What I always encourage within all of my lessons is to play as quietly as you can, away from noise, so you haven't got all the motion and you're trying to work out motion, sound, music coming at you. So if you think about being an absolute beginner, what we find is that often can't stay in time with the song, etc. So the brain is trying to work out the song that it can hear, is trying to think about the motion that it's trying to do that's never done before, like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it happens to be within the first couple of lessons. So it's trying to work out a motion, it's trying to count, you're trying to listen to the music, and there's this volume hitting you, and it's all too much. The calculations are all too much. So if you stop everything and you sit quietly, and then you pick up your sticks, you consider how you should hold your sticks. And if you follow me on this channel, I can show you how to hold sticks and all the rest of it. There's plenty of that out there anyway. So what I try and encourage everyone to do is to settle it as low as you possibly can. Play as quiet and gentle as possible. There's a number of reasons why. So first of all, it takes away, as I said, all that music, motion, metronome. It's the same. I see students trying to play to a metronome and trying to learn a particular rhythm or a rudiment in drumming, and they just can't because the brain can't concentrate on that and the metronome together. So scrap everything. Take it all away. Sit quiet. I'll give you an example. If you're a beginner, there are rudiments in drumming. One of them is called a paradiddle. A para is 1 strike per hand, para or para, doesn't matter which way around, and a diddle is simply 2 strikes per hand, para, diddle. So if you create a paradiddle roll, you go paradiddle, now swap over paradiddle. So that takes a bit of time. Some people go paradiddle, paradiddle, but you can't get a flow with that. So you have to cross and switch between hands. 20 to 4, hold the sticks nicely, not like that, not like that. So hold them nicely, sit nice and upright, no music, tap very gently. Now speak louder, don't play louder and don't play faster than the voice, so that you can physically see and understand what you're doing. So for an example, paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Okay, now if you can't play at that speed, you stay like this for ages. Paradiddle, paradiddle. Eventually, you can remove the voice. Now, when you're good at doing that, then that's when you could either put a metronome in and try and doop, 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 and play along to that, or a little bit of music. Not live music, in case it varies in speed, but something like a disco track. And then you just sit going through that track, playing this. Very quiet so that you can speak over it to tell your hands what to do. There's so many students that I've worked with that when I say play a particular feel or rudiment and they're struggling to get there, the second I say use your voice, speak, and they start to speak, they play it better. Paradiddle, paradiddle. If you're really good, sing. Paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. I'm not very good at singing, but if you was to sing with it, throw your inhibitions away, you will have a better sound anyway, a smoother sound. Now, if you learn to tap, I'm going to come on to something else that's really important with that. Tapping is just simply what it says on the tin. Very little height, just there, tiny amount. Tap. Single, double. Single stroke, 1 per hand. Double stroke per hand, okay? Double, 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 single, 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 single. Now, if you learn to do singles and doubles well and you're tapping, you will find that your rudiments will come really good. Now, this is key to everything, because if you learn to play quiet, that's where the skill or the sound comes out of when you're trying to do any sort of rhythms or rudimental work. So for an example, if I just do this, it's clumsy, it's awkward, it's not very nice. If I do it this way, okay, start that again. What am I doing? nice and gentle. Now, if I put an accent in there for, it takes shape. And if you keep practicing that, put a little song on, ride that feel of motion, lazy feel with a hit. See what I mean? This always being played really quiet. So if you practice quiet regular, you'll have this technique where you can just gently tap to create the sounds you're after. Now, if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, sounds like a train going up the old hill in Wales, up the old mountain. Ba. Ivor the engine. If you're Welsh, you'll know what that is. Ba, 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 ba. But that only comes from sitting, doing that for ages, building up the speed, and eventually taking a chance of creating not just a tap, but a strike. Tap in, ta, 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 build. And if you want speed, the faster you go, the closer you've got to come to this shell anyway, because you can't get that size motion going 100 miles an hour. There's a song called Peggy Sue by Buddy Holly, all paradiddle. Paradiddle, paradiddle. And he plays it with speed. So it's dam, dam, bam, bam. Dum, 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 dum. So that just takes forever and a day to just learn and to keep on trying to get that, just getting that texture. Then you can displace your accents. Those are the bigger hits, and that's another minefield all over again. Or you can learn another rudiment, and that is paradiddle diddle, paradiddle diddle. Okay, and then if you play super quiet, gentle, slow, you can talk to yourself on paradiddle to paradiddle diddle. Now you're combining things with a little single stroke roll. So for an example, paradiddle, 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 diddle, paradiddle, 1, 2, 3, 4, stop. You see, so you can use words and numbers to combine to change. You can do paradiddle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want to do that gets the mind to understand what it's playing. And you can only do that quietly. Paradiddle, paradiddle. So there's 3 rudiments gone on there. So I've done a paradiddle, paradiddle diddle, and then a single stroke roll. Not that difficult to do the single stroke roll, obviously, but it's difficult to combine it all. Then if you play super quiet, then start to accent it. And so the accents were on the left hand and then on the right hand. And by playing quiet and doing lots of these, you strengthen the core of the weaker hand as well. I don't think it's a weaker hand. If you pick up a box, the same strength, everything, it works just as well with one hand and the other normally, but it's just simply not being used enough. If they could talk, your left hand would simply, or your weaker hand as they call it, would simply say, let me join the party, let me get involved, and I'll be able to take the lead, and I'll be able to play just as much and just as quick and just as nice as the other hand, you see? And then if you want to flick over to a traditional grip again, super gentle on the one hand, and then strike on the other one. So it's 2 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Gentle. Foot's going, look. Fidgets. Like a dog when you scratch its belly, the foot starts going. Then you just, because you're practicing over and over, I use the thumb over on this particular thing. Drip, little triplet. So I do it like that. Then I will move it on to the drum kit. Now when I come to the drum kit, I'm going to show you this in a different video. If you follow our channel, I go from practice pad to the hi-hat. Where's the hi-hat? There it is over there, look. I'm back to front here. So I go to the hi-hat, and then I drop it down to the snare, because the snare is the hardest one to get the sound to work. loads of times you practice on a practice pad, you think, I've got it perfect, you move to a snare, and it's like, whoa, it's awful, it's gone. It's like, oh, what have I done? So practice pad, go back to it, hi-hat, snare, practice pad, hi-hat, snare, and just keep working around like that all the time, and the sound will come. Get your feet involved. Whenever you're practicing something that you're doing with your hands, just walk with your feet, either a steady walk or double. So a little example, flam. Flam is one strike and one tap together. One is over the other one. If I go that way, you can see it easier. Up, and then that one comes up. That one comes up. That one comes up. Flam, a rudiment. Flam tap. The one that strikes down, stays down and taps. Da-ga, da-ga. Snap, trap, trap, trap. I have a habit of going a little bit past vertical, but vertical is the best. Like that to me now. Doesn't look like it in camera, but that is the way the camera angle is. That is perfectly straight there for me. So for you, it's there. And then strike, and then that one up. That's pretty good, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then drag. But again, to start off, I would go super quiet. And I would just listen to myself and go, draka, 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 draka. I can see what's happening. I understand. Doesn't matter about the sound for now. Slow, build, get a feel, put music on. Ba, 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 ba. Singles, doubles. Up, up. Quiet to loud, quiet to loud. See what you think. Lots of other videos. If you want to support us, get involved, buy from us, our merchandise, the stuff that we have in stock and so on, these beautiful kits and snares. Jump on the website. All the links are below of what you see in the picture today. And yeah, hopefully that's a help for you. Always play quiet, use the voice, train yourself, then lift up to speed and volume after you've mastered what you're trying to do. Thank you. Take care.